the last few days.
Great.
And I'm filling out applications for puppies.
Yay.
Great. Cool. So that's good.
And I'll finish Apocalyptic this weekend, finally, and move on to My Little Pet.
Okay. Yes. All right. Progress. That's great.
Yeah, finally. It's about time, don't you think? There's another St. Patty's Carol has wearing green too. Yay! I have a Guinness in my fridge. I'm going to have that as soon as this is over.
Oh. Do you need anything at this point? You seem to be doing
A puppy.
a puppy. Okay.
That's all, just a puppy.
Okay. Well, welcome and congratulations on all the good work.
Yeah, it was like I finally realized my friend George helped me because I finally figured out how to get through this and what to do with it. It's going to be very funny, but with a bite.
Great.
As is everything.
Okay. Yay.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yay. Welcome.
Judith.
Yay, Judith.
Thank you.
Great. So I don't know if there's any Mr. Sci-Fi questions yet. We're just getting going now.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
We're just getting started here.
That's fine. Okay,
When
great.
are we going to be in real?
It's
What?
getting
I
very.
would
It's
think.
getting very close. I mean, unless we have another, another
Flare up.
Flare up.
Yeah. Well, it'll probably be the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get
Can
together.
I just say one thing? Akira, there's something on info list
Hi.
that for someone who speaks Japanese. They're looking
really?
for someone who speaks Japanese.
Really? Okay.
Oh,
Great.
I think we have someone here.
Yeah.
Yes, I forwarded that to him.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Okay, great.
Good. Okay, great. So Adam, you're next on my screen.
Sure.
Go for
All
it.
right, we've got a nice little nice little group tonight here.
Yes.
Hi everyone. You all know me. I'm Adam. I do voices. I act. I'm also on Space Command.
Yay.
Yay! We had a very, very great shoot on Monday. I'm sure
Yes.
you, Mark and Elaine, will tell us more about that.
Yes.
I got to be script supervisor again.
Yay.
At least when I wasn't ordering lunch and then reordering lunch because the app crashed. Oh boy, it's it's just it's never a dull moment in showbiz.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Make sure that that position is noted so that we can get it into the credits.
Right? Yeah.
But
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Great. That's great.
So there's that. I just today, like a few hours ago, got a audition. It's
Great.
a print or like a print shoot audition. So
Cool.
I don't have to worry about lines.
Wow.
I
Good.
just show up, I look good, and there you go.
There you go.
It
Okay.
involves holding a bird too.
Ah.
So that's fun.
Have you ever held an eagle?
I have not,
Well,
but I
They're
would
heavy.
imagine you have to wear one of those big old
Gauntlets. Yeah.
arm glove things because the talons will just rip you up.
well,
I assume it's going to be a smaller than I assume it's not going to be that big.
Hmm.
Probably like a parrot or something.
well, what surprised us because when we were in Alaska, they have an awful lot of these guys. The ranger, she was holding it, and evidently they're pretty light.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you would
yeah.
think because they fly.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
can't be too heavy.
Yes, I mean they look like such big, strong birds, but it was a very light bird. So yes, she was holding one. They when they get damaged, they keep them at the ranger station until they get well, and then they release them. So it was one of those
Oh, that's
birds.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. So great. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then I'm behind on my podcast. I have guests lined up that I need to contact and schedule,
Right.
and I also need to edit the podcast too. But then also in Space Command news, I just finished scanning what I think is the last thing that needs to be scanned for
Great.
now.
Great.
Wow, great.
That can be scanned, the Space Command design book,
Hmm.
which is really cool.
Wow.
I'm right now editing the images because some are like turned on their sides, so I
Hmm.
make them right side up.
Cool.
And then I'll send them off to Inez to put in order
Great.
and turn into a perk that we send out.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
So
Well, thanks.
I think that's everything for me.
Okay. Yay. 3
Okay,
cheers.
all right.
So is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes. There's one from Gregory Krug.
Hello, Greg.
Technically, it's a Mr. Politics question.
That's fine.
He wants to know, are there any Mr. Politics videos in the near future?
Yes, and for those who don't know, I have my Mr. Sci-Fi channel, and I also have another channel called Mr. Politics, because my Sci-Fi channel friends didn't want me to get political on Mr. Sci-Fi, which is fair, because I want to welcome everyone from every side of the equation. But yes, I was thinking something very interesting about the Ukrainian war and why it's resonating so strongly, which is this: it's technological, which is in prior wars like World War II. The most you would get is maybe a black and white newsreels that you see in the theaters, or a newspaper account, and the black and white newsreels in the theaters were shot silent, and then they might add explosion sounds. And even in Vietnam, you'd get it on the news. It was film, and it was it wasn't immediate, it wasn't personal. But now, because of the internet with Ukraine, you're getting thousands, if not more than thousands, of people posting directly from there in the moment, and it's instantaneous, and it's just like you were there, because the technology allows it to seem, that you no longer have that long distance quality on most calls, and that makes it much more like it's our neighborhood, our friends being killed, and the brutality of it is very immediate and very resonant. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a very good thing. So, because every hour of the day, every minute of the day, you're getting updates. And whereas often the internet can be very cacophonous and very distracting, in this case, it helps focus people on that specific issue in a very specific and unifying way. And so I think if we ultimately do find a diplomatic way out of this, a negotiated way out of this, it will be largely because of what technology allowed to make happen. So there you go. So yes, so that's I should have recorded that and put it on Mr. Politics, and maybe my friend Dave Edison will help me do that. So we shall see. But great. So next on my screen is the effervescent Dave Edison. So go for it, Dave.
Speaking of which, hi everyone. It is me, the effervescent Dave Edison, editor of Space Command and Other Things.
Yep.
Hope you're doing well. Fine here so far. Still vertical and breathing. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Those of you who can't see, I am wearing the green.
Yes.
Okay.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein shirt.
It's great.
So let's see. Yes, it's been a busy week again. We did shoot Monday at Space Command Studios. We are getting close to wrapping up the footage on the framing story for the second 2 hours. We've shot part of the second 2 hours already, so
it's great.
We have one more day to shoot for this section of it, and then we're going on to the rest of that production. Meanwhile, we're getting close to. Well, we're getting closer. I mean, we keep getting close, and a little bit each week. We're getting close to finishing the first 2 hours of Space Command. We've got Mark and I were discussing the credits today. We've got other things to discuss as well. I've got, by the way, I've got a hard drive of footage for you from Monday.
Great.
And actually, it's not here. It's in the car, just in case anything happens here. If there's an earthquake and the car survives, the footage will survive.
Great.
And if anything happens to me, another alien abduction.
Yes.
You never know how long those things will last. So
great.
Anyway, also this week, I was pleased to hear that a film I had edited just a little while back, co-edited actually. One of the producers did a fine first pass on it. Came out a little long, so I took it down into a good length and did some adjustments and a little bit of minor VFX on it. But a little independent film called Fear Frequency has just appeared on Amazon. It's not on the Prime version. It's on the pay-per-view version so far. It might go to Prime, which is included with subscriptions, but it's a little science fiction film, sort of. More of a conspiracy film about a conspiracy theorist who is convinced that she's being targeted by a super secret organization bent on world domination. And these people I know, talented people, shot this film in the early months of the pandemic, carefully. One main character, 3 other characters that appear briefly in the film, and kind of shows you what you can do quickly with a limited crew and just some determination. And it's a picture that got picked up. I
Great.
mean, you don't just
Great.
call Amazon and say, "Here's my movie."
Mhm.
They have to approve it, so they got a distributor, and they won. Oh, by the way, we won a couple of film festival awards on it. Actually, the lead actress won Best Actress on a couple of awards. We won the Best Feature on a couple of festivals. I was nominated as Best Editor on one of them.
Wow.
Yay.
Yay.
So there you go. So it's out there. It's called Fear Frequency, and it'll be in other platforms eventually. But for the moment, it's on pay-per-view on Amazon.
Yay.
I
Good
think
job.
That's about it.
Yay.
So, unless there's something else you can think of that we need to cover about this.
Nope. Except you did a
That's
great
good.
job, and you were basically wearing 2 hats on Monday during our shoot. You were being the wonderful DIT/editor, and also you had an acting role, and you were spectacular. There's a reason they call you the Olivier of Space Command Studios.
Do they do that?
I just did.
Yeah, well, the role is great for me because what I get to do is the camera hands to me and I leave.
Yes, you were astonishing. You were astonishing.
I had that nailed down.
Yes, it was terrific.
Then I seen the character. He's just going on a space flight. He could
Yes.
come back later on.
Yes, he could.
Yeah, he could.
And also
And you had a recurrence of your role.
Yes.
Well, it wasn't exactly your
No.
grizzled
No.
space jockey character.
Well, I made a multi-pass for your character, and that was, of course, Murray Leinster was who you were playing, because we named characters after science fiction writers. And I was a captain in interplanetary space lines, sort of like an airline captain in space. And this is the multi-pass I made for myself, Captain Bob Heinlein. Captain Bob Heinlein. So
very good.
very fun, very, very fun. And so yeah, it was a good time had by all, and really great fun, and can't wait to put it all together so we can share it with our friends. So
we posited that Captain Bob is a descendant of the grizzled.
He's a clone. Yes, he's a
Yes.
clone. They saved
Yeah.
his nose because the grizzled space jockey does not fare too well in the first 2 hours of Space Command. So this is the 3rd generation clone, 90 years later.
Yeah.
Captain Bob Heinlein. And someone pointed out that Robert A. Heinlein, one of the great writers of science fiction, didn't ever like to be called Bob. And I said, I know that, but that's why I'm differentiating this guy as Captain Bob rather than saying it's Robert Heinlein, because it isn't. But many of the people who mentored me knew Heinlein very, very well. And he may have been a bit of a political interesting character, but he was a very gracious human being, and he was very, very kind to my friend Theodore Sturgeon. When Ted had a writing block, he wrote to Heinlein asking for help, and Heinlein sent him 25 pages of ideas and said, "Here, use these in any way you want." And Ted took some of them and sold stories based on them, and was off and running again. So that was really a great kindness. And there you go.
Yeah,
And there was something else I have to mention to you. If only I could remember what it was.
Well, there you
Oh,
go.
dear.
So next time, thanks, folks. Be well. Talk to you soon.
Yay! Excellent. Good job. So is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes, we have a Scott Baker question.
Terrific. Hi, Scott.
So he wants to know, this is for both you and Elaine.
Great.
Okay.
He wants to know, have either of you had a non-showbiz job before? And do you ever miss it?
The only job I had was I was a delivery boy for a pharmacy when I was 16 years old, and I was terrible. I had little other things like where people commissioned me to do artwork or whatever when I was a teenager. But since I sold my first short story at 19 and was a professional writer, writing for TV when I was 22 or 23, and also writing The Twilight Zone at that age, The Twilight Zone Companion, I was pretty fresh out of the gate, thank God. But Elaine, on the other hand, had a million jobs.
I
So
did.
go for it, Elaine.
Amongst the jobs, I've worked as a maid, I've worked
Crop
as
picker.
a waitress, I've worked as a crop picker, I've worked as an English teacher,
Mhm.
I've worked as an assistant in publishing,
Yes.
book publishing, an assistant in magazine publishing,
And in insurance.
I worked in insurance. I worked as again an assistant in a school of architecture.
Worked at an old folks home.
I've worked as an activities director in a nursing center, a skilled nursing center.
Mhm. Mhm. You
I worked for a company which was where I just had to type in card orders.
Yes.
I just a million.
You were director of a federal program for seniors and handicapped here in
Yes.
LA for 5 years.
For several
Yeah,
years, where I
yeah,
was the head of
yeah.
the program. I started out as the
Mhm.
assistant and worked up as to the head of the program
Yep.
for
Yep.
seniors and the handicapped, independent living.
Yep. else? Tons
And
of
got
stuff.
an award from the city for that one.
Yeah, you were an actress
I-
off Broadway in New York and a
Yes.
director, but that's showbiz.
Actor, director, and writer.
Mhm.
But that was showbiz, right? So
Mhm. So lots of stuff.
a lot of things, and I was a waitress, and I got very large tips because I was trying so hard, and they felt so sorry for me because I was incompetent.
Yes, everyone knew she wasn't going to hold on to the job
Yes.
long.
Here's
But
your
yes,
toast. I'll
and-
be right back. Here's your butter. I'll be right
Right.
back. Here's your coffee. I'll be right
Mhm.
back. Here's your cream. I'll be right back.
Right.
But they were but I had a big smile, and they gave me tips anyway.
And the answer to how could you have had all those jobs is, with the exception of the director of the federal program for seniors and handicapped, those were all jobs she had before she met me, except for English teacher. That was when you were working with my mom. And
And I worked in insurance, and
but that was way
man,
back
what a
when.
story.
Yes, but the point was she had many jobs
Yeah.
before she met me when I was 20 at UCLA. So
Yes.
there you go.
There you
And
go.
but yeah, so all of that stuff was great grist for the mill and has proven enormously useful in the work she's done in,
But
in
I
TV.
always did well because if you're OCD, it doesn't matter how much the job stinks, you still work hard.
Yes. She's a detail freak.
Yes.
So okay, cool, great. So let's see, Carol. I guess you're next on my screen.
Aaron Gogodoff.
Hi.
Aaron Gogodoff, whatever it means.
Yes.
Or as I like to say, Aaron go braless.
Yes. There you go. Well.
You're so lascivious.
It's from the
Yes.
it's from the producers.
Uh-huh.
Oh, is it really?
Really,
I have something
Jesus.
for you, Adam. When you said you have to touch a bird,
Mhm.
I did a commercial and a print ad for TV Guide, and my hand was in the fishbowl.
That's funny. That's
That-
very
It was
funny.
swimming around my hand. It was so gross.
Yeah.
Oh my
It
God.
was so gross. I'm
Mhm.
sure that's why I got the part, because I said sure. Sure.
That's nice.
Three nice things. I got a phone call on Friday. Someone saw me as the Hungarian fortune teller and said, "I'm doing a backers audition too. Would you read for something?"
Huh.
Wow.
How fun.
Wasn't that nice?
Yes.
And I said, well, sure. What is it? And he said, tonight. I said, tonight. He said, yeah, someone dropped out. I said, so you just need a body. You don't need my gifts. He laughed, whatever. It might be right. But so it was really fun. I read as a kind of a bowling alley waitress,
Mhm.
cigarette toting, very much typecast. I played her really harsh. It was super fun. They don't have the money that the first group does, but I don't care. It was so much fun. It was cool. You never know. You never know where the stuff could go.
Cool.
Another thing, in that I'm the entertainer of the friggin' month on a Poho publications. They podcasted me, and it's out.
Great.
If you want to see it, I'll send it to you, Anna.
Oh,
Cool.
Great.
That's great.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
it was really kind of fun. And then, and then I got a phone call from a lady in Amsterdam, and I spoke to her yesterday. It was so cool. It was so cool because I'm here and she's 9 hours ahead. And I saw her window and I saw it get dark in Amsterdam, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning here.
That's
And it
cool.
was just you saw that the houses did not look like ours. They really looked Dutch. She was I guess she would be considered having a production or a producer, I guess.
Mhm.
But this is really weird, man. I don't know where it came in from or where it's going to go, but
Hmm.
you have to let go of the nonlinear things in your life when they're good,
Yes.
and just go with the flow.
Mhm.
Do I have a little list here?
Yeah, I did. What was it? Oh, okay. Do you know if they're going to be able to Zoom us also when you go into a restaurant?
I don't know yet, and and so we may have to, adapt, but we'll figure it out. We'll make it
Yeah,
work.
we're actually going to start searching soon for a tech person who might be able to have that component.
There's a way to do it. There's
Yeah.
a way to do it. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I
And-
don't want to go in public for a while. You know?
Yeah,
I just
understand.
know too many people have been sick.
Yeah, I understand.
Worst comes to worst, we do the Zoom part at a different time or day. and
Yeah.
then-
Or what we can do is I have a mannequin. What I can do is I can make its head into a screen, and then whenever it's the person's turn, their face will appear on that body that's physically there in the restaurant, and it won't be odd at all. So
I have one question.
yes.
I have one question. Are there any horror genres that are really in right now? Because I know there's different subgenres.
Yes. Financially successful.
Got it. Okay.
No, I mean, if you just look at what this past year, which ones have been successful, I mean, the ones that seem to be not really thriving now are like just out and out slasher films, with the exception of something like with the exception of something that's already branded like Halloween, or something like that. But mainly they've got to have some kind of twist, some kind of surprise in them, but there's a considerable range now, but you just can't be the same as what they were like 20 years ago.
Okay. And thank you both very much for
Sure.
being here.
You bet.
Sure.
Yay. 3 cheers. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Perhaps you could continue the Mr. Sci-Fi segment, if not the Zoom segment, once we go live.
Right. Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes. We have a question from Mark Lungo.
Great. Hi, Mark.
He says, with dystopian sci-fi so popular, what's a good way to get people watching optimistic shows like Space Command?
I think you just put it out there and people respond to it. I don't categorize it as, it's a story I want to tell that gives people room for possibility.
We have, our fans gave us money, they say over and over, specifically because it is a hopeful message. The wild popularity of something like Ted Lasso, I think, is telling. And I think people are very eager to see other worlds, and they're willing to swallow some things that are not their favorite things to be swallowing, just to be in other worlds and have some sort of action.
I mean, look, I can only be responsible for what I make, and Elaine can only be responsible for what she makes and what we make together. And we want to do meaningful work. A friend of mine, one of our Space Command supporters, sent me an article yesterday that just came out from the BBC that named Far Beyond the Stars the greatest Star Trek episode of all time. Far Beyond the Stars, of course, is the episode that I came up with. And he was all bent out of shape because they didn't mention me. But the point was, it's like, okay, that's a meaningful piece of work that has lasted over 20 years. And I think will continue to resonate because it was truthful. And you could say that's a very dark story, but it's a very hopeful story because it's about honoring your truth and changing people because of what your truth is and who you are and what you stand for. And that resonates out in the world. So I think I don't think I need to reach out to an audience or change their mind. I think they'll just be entertained and find it resonates with them, and that's all that we really need to do. I'm about to do a Mr. Sci-Fi on Picard season 2, and it's like it's better than season 1, but it's sort of like Picard deja vu because it's like every plot line in there has been done previously in Star Trek, and so this will be maybe interesting, and maybe the younger viewers haven't seen those stories that it is basically copying, but yet there's nothing in there that's original, really, in my opinion. And so it's just kind of like a mashup of a whole bunch of episodes that they've done previously. So, I'm really proud of what we're doing with Space Command and the other projects because I haven't seen those stories before, and that makes it interesting to me, at least. So yeah, and to millions of other people. So cool. So next is Akira. Go for it.
Okay, so hello everyone. So by the way, first of all, thank you for the passing me the information of the Japanese acting cast, and yeah, I did already email back, them, yeah,
Cool.
and I get it. It's a good job, $2,000 in a day, right? It's good one. Yeah, and yeah, and today, so Elaine, so you look, healthy.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank
Good.
you.
She's on the mend.
Yes, I was at the gym on the bike this morning.
Yes. She's one tough cookie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, here, we, everyone, already we know each other and then not much to talk,
Mhm.
I'm fine. I'm still surviving, teaching, and doing jazz gig and composing for film.
Oh wow,
And,
great.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh wow,
That's it.
okay.
I'm healthy. I'm here. Thank you very much.
Good. It's good to see you
Yay.
as always. 3 cheers. So, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Actually, no. I think we're caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Great,
Okay. Well,
okay.
then we'll just keep
Yeah.
going. So good. So now it's Thane. Go for it, Thane.
Hey Thane, hi.
I spent most of the day cooking corned beef. I didn't realize you have to cook it an hour and a half per pound, and luckily I didn't get too big a piece. So
Mm-hmm.
my house smells like corned beef. And
Great.
at any rate, plugging along. A couple more auditions this last week. Somebody out with one of theirs, and the taxes are coming together, so I can start creating again instead of. Actually, I've done a lot of creating with taxes, but we won't talk about that. Other than that, things are pretty good. Just hoping that we don't have a reoccurrence of the Corona Part 4 or whatever.
Right.
it
Yes.
might be, although apparently it's on the loose in Europe right now,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and things are trending up again. So keep on keeping on here and see what the next phone call, email, or whatever drags up and puts on my doorstep.
Okay. Well, great. 3
Yeah,
cheers,
okay.
Thane. Excellent. So, is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes.
Aha.
We have another question from Mark Lungo,
Sure. Hi, Mark.
who says, did you know that DC's Looney Tunes comic parodied Twilight Zone's The Hitchhiker?
Huh.
It starred Pepe Le Pew as the hitchhiker and Penelope Pussycat as the Nan Adams character.
That's fun. Well, see, the great thing is that, now with so many gazillions of channels, it's very hard to have jokes that people get because everybody knows the same information. Everyone has the same background. But of course, so many, people have seen Twilight Zone, or there's certain things that actually do resonate as sort of a common mythology. Unfortunately, Twilight Zone is one of those. So it's very easy to satirize because most people will get the joke, will get the reference, and so that's terrific. There's so many parodies now of Twilight Zone, including, of course, Treehouse of Terror, the Halloween specials on The Simpsons. They've done a number of great episodes. But yeah, I didn't know about that specific one, but that's really fun. That's really great. So so now I see Michelle Hart has joined us. Are you there, Michelle? Or are you just kind of getting set up?
Michelle?
I'm just sort of lurking for the moment.
Okay.
well, it's
do
your
you want
turn.
to take your turn, or do you need us to?
Not really.
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet. Okay. Would you like to
Okay.
take your turn without being seen?
Pardon me?
Would you like to take a turn without being seen?
No, I'll be saying it a little bit. I
Okay.
just want to catch up with what everybody else has got to say.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Well, why don't you take your turn, Elaine?
Okay. Well, on the mend.
From shoulder surgery.
Shoulder replacement. Yes, shoulder replacement.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be up and about in a couple days. That
Yes.
didn't quite work out the way I planned.
But yeah.
But yeah.
But you're on the
so
mend?
I'm on the mend.
Yes.
And we finally got our doggles back. And we had a lovely shoot on Monday with just a great group of people.
Mhm. was fun.
So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had our actors were terrific,
Yes,
and-
brilliant.
and we were paying off a lot of people who were owed roles.
A lot of people had gotten perks for walk-on roles and extra roles and so forth. And so one guy flew in from Ireland just to be in Space Command. It was really fun.
So they were having fun, and the people who apply for roles, there's only one exception from another time. They really put their heart in it. They do an extremely good job.
Yes.
And because I like to set up background actors in a way that they're actually doing something that affects the key characters, it really helps. They prove very, very helpful. So in terms of counterpoint and emphasis, so that was a lot of fun, and I got to sit most of the time, which is very unusual. They sat me in front of. Usually I'm standing because I'm very edgy, but I got to sit in front of the monitor, and so we had a great shoot. Dave was trying to keep us from making too many mistakes. I don't know if he completely succeeded, but we were really trying. He was helping us try not to, because this thing has to be cut together. So I'm very eager to get to the footage, because again, the performances were lovely. Just a lot of sincere people who have something to say about the human condition. So so right now we're just into editing and doing a lot of not our favorite thing, but doing a lot of planning as we move ahead. So which is the producer part. But we have to do it. So that's it for me.
Great. Yay. 3 cheers. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Let's see. Not a question. Mark Lungo does say he'll email you the Looney Tunes comic.
Cool. How fun. That's great.
But I have a question.
Of course.
That I don't think has been asked yet.
Uh-oh, look out.
In the Space Command universe,
Yes.
now I know a lot of shows have special holiday episodes.
Yes.
So I was wondering if there will be such an episode, and are there holidays in the Space Command universe?
Yes, there are holidays, of course, and they vary depending on people's backgrounds. One, of course, is tempted to do a very special Christmas episode with one of our main characters trapped in an elevator with a woman who's about to give birth, but I think I'll sidestep that temptation. It's at this point we don't have plans for a holiday episode because I don't have a good idea for one.
Yeah, and our focus has really been on like larger issues.
Yes.
On exploitation. On which was kind of our first episode. The second one was on forgiveness.
Right.
The third one was where war is the enemy.
Right.
In each case, we're trying to handle larger themes.
Yes.
Don't. And because we're not one of the series which has lots and lots and lots of episodes, so you have room to play.
Right.
It's mostly a room to play question.
Yeah, and it's interesting because most science fiction shows don't have Christmas episodes, whereas a lot of mainstream comedies and dramas do. An exception to that, of course, is Night of the Meek, which is a terrific Twilight Zone episode with Art Carney as an alcoholic department store Santa who wants to be the real Santa. It's a wonderful piece of writing and acting, and was shot on black and white video. It's only one of 6 of the 156 Twilight Zone episodes that were shot on black and white videotape as an experiment to see if they could successfully do it and lower the budget. Ultimately, they decided not to go with that, which was a good idea. But now that those black and white videos have been restored to their original masters, they're astonishing looking, and you can on the Blu-ray or whatever, you can see them, and they just are amazing and wonderful and really, really work. So Michelle, it's your turn, I guess.
I don't have anything tremendous to say.
Okay.
I've been, trying to find work like everybody else is. I've got a day's background coming up on the 21st on something, and other than that, life and times are pretty well dead. And Judith, what I said I was going to send you about places that do audition taping, I will send that after I'm done with this.
Cool.
How was that batch that bout you had with the flu? How
are you feeling?
It was a cold, and it was every classic cold symptom you could think of. I mean, giant wet sneezing nose like faucet, a small, no fever, but small aches and pains all over, and it finished with a large, ugly cough that sounded like a barking seal. And it went away. But there's nothing like coughing in the presence of other people who are terrified of COVID, because everybody looks at you. They do everything to point and go unclean.
Yes, true. That's funny. So
it's gone. Thank God it wasn't flu. It was just your garden variety cold. I haven't had one for probably 5 years, and this was a doozy and made up for all 5 years.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you. So great. Well, anything else you need?
No, I may eventually have to find out who did the shoulder surgery if I can't get mine to work the way it's supposed to.
Okay, sure.
Well,
he was shoulder problems for a while.
He's very good. My physical therapist that I've been working with for some time recommended him, and it's Eric Milstein. In Century City.
But you guys can talk about that as need be.
If it gets to that, I'll contact you directly.
Sure.
Okay, great. Well, 3 cheers. Yay, Michelle. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam? Oh. I think you're muted.
Are you muted? We've lost you.
Yes.
There you go. No, it's fine. Part of your charm.
To unmute. There we go.
Yeah.
We have a question from Looney Tune, who says, do you remember a British TV series from 1962 called The Big Pull?
Nope. But it's a great title. But no, I don't. There's only certain shows that sort of came over here. The Prisoner, obviously, all the Jerry Anderson stuff. But that one, no, that doesn't ring a bell, sadly. But Doctor Who came over sort of in the John Pertwee era, and then of course Tom Baker was my favorite Doctor Who of that original batch. And but that there you go. So now Mark Agushowitz has joined the ranks of the proud, the few. So Mark, do you want to share your experiences?
Wow, I can assume only everybody's already gone, huh?
Yeah. You're the last to go, other than me.
Unless several people are on.
Small turnout because maybe is it St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah. Everyone's in the pub. They're all
getting drunk.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of wish I was there right now.
There you go.
So I don't really have a lot to say. It's been a bad couple of weeks for me. We had a little bit of a personal tragedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm playing catch up with a lot of stuff, which hopefully I'll be all caught up by the end of next week. But
cool.
It is surprising to me how some clients will handle a tragedy and how some won't.
Yes.
So I thank Dave, Mark, Elaine, and Bartlett's not here, but he was really great.
Good.
Regarding it as well, because I'm working on stuff for you guys. When I told you guys about it, you guys were amazing.
Thanks.
Whereas I had another client who tried to show me sympathy and then started putting me to work as if nothing happened.
Yes.
It was like, excuse me. So anyway, so by the end of next week, I'm hopefully be caught up on everything. You'll have your Comic-Con. My other clients will have their stuff. And I can snap out of this little issue that I've been in. Other than that, my website's under exposedcinematictreasures.com. I was going to do for my next review something Michelle had recommended, but it's a little too close in tone to 2 other things I've reviewed already, so I'm going to hold off on that for a couple of weeks. Because it was the Peter O'Toole movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just started to realize there was a pattern all of a sudden happening with my recommendations. I kind of wanted to try and break away from that. But I definitely want to do it. Dave Edison also had recommended me a movie called 1,001 Fingers of Dr.
5,000 Fingers.
5,000 Fingers.
Dr. T. Yeah.
Which I watched and I liked, but I didn't think it was good enough to do as a recommendation, but I recommended to people to watch just for one of the musical numbers that happens in about halfway into the movie, which has literally become my all-time favorite musical number in any movie I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a musical number in this movie that's just, and it's like 9 minutes long,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just fantastic. Other than that, just playing catch up. This weekend's going to be weird because I'm going to a friend's wedding, which is going to call back all the things that I just went through because of their involvement. But like I said, once again, the Space Command people were great. They just kind of like said, "Oh, go deal with that," and so I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get a lot of times clients can be real assholes, and you guys were fantastic.
Thanks.
And other than that, my film got into another festival.
Yay!
Okay.
Judith on Facebook asked if her chair was there. I said yes, but her name is also in the special thanks because she gave me the chair.
Mm-hmm.
So she will be seen her name will be seen on the big screen as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but because where my mind is, I'm gonna probably just end it there.
Okay. Well, 3 cheers. Good to see you, and we'll continue to have joyous times together. And sorry about the rough chop over the last few weeks, but though it's funny, speaking of that, we just watched a movie with Meryl Streep that we hadn't seen in many years, which is The River Wild, which is it's got this muscular buff Meryl Streep who's going down the rapids with this crazy evil killer Kevin Bacon and trying to save her family. And it's it's like, wow, this is like a kind of muscular movie you would never expect Meryl Streep to be in. So it was just for escapist fare. It was really fun. And the little boy who plays her son is the little boy in Jurassic Park. So almost
in it too.
Yeah.
A lot of people overlook that movie because it just looks like it's going to be bad.
Yeah, but no, it was great.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah. And so but good to see you, Mark, as always. So 3 cheers. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes, we have another Scott Baker question.
Scott.
He says, there's so many stories involving AI or androids that project human psychological quirks and failings upon them.
Yes.
Do you know of stories that highlight the benefits of lacking such quirks?
Well, the one that actually presents androids as the least human would probably be Ex Machina, where the creature is the artificial intelligence has absolutely no empathy for human beings and is just out to survive. And that was very, very interesting. I mean, the thing that amazes me about AI is that no one has installed Asimov's 3 laws of robotics in them, and they certainly should have, because that stops a robot or AI from harming a human being, and the fact that the AIs that we have can absolutely do anything they want to is really dangerous. So I think that that's something that
they need some sort of inhibitor chip.
Yes. But speaking of Space Command, but I think that this is stuff that's going to continue to escalate. So the thing that I'm very mindful about with robots and all of that stuff within the real world is that they aren't alive. They feign, they have the illusion of consciousness, but it isn't consciousness, because in human beings there's this I there. There's this like, okay, I'm looking out of my eyes, my mind is here, I am, there's a presence, there's a person. Whereas with our computers and all of that, it's feigning that consciousness, but it isn't the same. It's not at all the same. It's much more akin to a mechanism than anything else. And one could argue that we're biological mechanisms, but consciousness is this ineffable mystery that we really can't account for. And it's a miracle. It's really wonderful. So anyway, that's that. So let's see. So I guess it's me.
Yeah.
It's my turn. Yay! Wonderful me. So yes, it's been an amazing few weeks between Elaine's surgery and us shooting the other day and doing the amazing departure lounge with all these extras moving back and forth. And I'm going to do a video on how I put that set together and how I put the characters in the outfits and all that stuff, and what what the planning was, because people might assume that being a showrunner, quote unquote, I just kind of get some sketches from my art department and I approve them, and then when I show up on the day, it's all built. And no, that's not how we do it here at Space Command. So to say the least. And but this is something cool. We are a hair's breadth away from releasing the Blu-ray and DVD of our first 2-hour episode, Space Command Redemption. This is the artist's proof, and it has a quote on the front from Guillermo del Toro that says, "Mark Zicree keeps the indie sci-fi beacon shining, a true believer in self-reliance and ingenuity above budget." So cool. And so we're rocking and rolling, and we have a lot more to shoot and a lot more to do with Space Command as a whole. But we're moving and grooving, and in 4 days of shooting, we shot 24 pages of the script, which is a good pace. And we have put many of our friends in it. And we actually had Massimiliano Trevis and Andrea Miraglia, who are our DP and his right-hand guy, and now they're also helping us produce the physical shooting of Space Command. We put them in the scene as a 2-man spaceship crew speaking Italian. And boy, was that fun. They were kicking and screaming not to do it, but just with Dave's reticence, do I listen to that? Nah. I just plunge ahead. So it was great fun. It was great fun. And and many more adventures to come. And Green Lighting Yourself comes out next month, so that'll be fun. Oh, by the way, for everyone who wants to know, I'm going to be in person at the Paperback Show, signing copies of my books, including The Twilight Zone Companion, on Sunday. They have me scheduled, I think, midday, but they've given me a free table. And so I may be there for a few hours just signing stuff. And so if anyone wants to get a signed copy of The Twilight Zone Companion, that's a great way to do it. It's the Paperback Show. I believe it's in Glendale. And, we'll just look it up and show up, and it should be a lot of fun. And beyond that, it just keeps going. The Showrunners Network, we're going to be shooting all that stuff. And, my friend Brandon Sanderson has a campaign, a Kickstarter campaign that's, already at $29 million, which is astonishing. And it's still got a long way to go. I mean, his target was $1 million, and he could easily hit $40 or $50 million. It's a remarkable campaign. And so we're going in the right direction, clearly. Beyond that, anything else? Or I've forgotten anything? No. So and if you want to see some videos from our shoot the other day, our Monday shoot, go on Mr. Sci-Fi. I've been posting some pretty fun stuff. And that's, I guess, the main stuff for now.
Happy St. Pat.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, and many more. And thanks for everything you guys do, and thanks for all your help. It means a lot. And there's Galinda. I guess we'll let her chime in before you just came in under the wire, Galinda. There's that we're done. So is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
I just want to be sure to take a minute to sign on and say hi to everybody.
All right.
Love y'all. I've got a busy day.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, it's good to see you. And and we'll be here next week. But as we said, we're very soon going to be meeting in person as well. And thank you. Oh, dog, what are you growling at? The dogs are growling. Jesus. One is.
That's their way of saying it's time
to bid you all adieu. Yeah. So good. So thanks a lot, guys. Happy St. Pat's, and we will see you again next time. Thanks so much for everything you do and are. Take care. Bye, guys. We'll talk again real soon.